Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Mr. V Teaches Math. Today guys, what we're going to get a chance to do is break into our new unit focusing on something called integers. And what I thought I would do is I would look at the first two lessons in our textbook, try to combine them into one sort of compact video. And our goal today, it says there, is that it's to compare and order positive and negative numbers. But in addition to that, it's also just to recognize what positive numbers are, what negative numbers are. And so, as we're trying to think about integers, I've found it so far that one of the most helpful ways is just thinking about temperature. And when we talk about temperature here, we talk typically about numbers that are above freezing, the freezing point of water, or numbers that are below the freezing point of water. And there's information on the screen there, and it focuses on the Celsius temperature scale, where 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point of water. If you just look down at the bottom, the stuff in blue, that's actually definition for integers. And basically integers are all positive and negative whole numbers, including 0, which is neither positive or negative. And so there are a couple of examples of what negative and positive numbers are, and then 0 is thrown in there. You'll notice down at the very bottom, we see the temperatures above the freezing point of water are positive, and the temperatures below the freezing point of water are negative. And so hopefully you recognize that positive is written in red. Very often when I talk about positive numbers, when I show you that stuff on the board, or when I help you in your notebooks, I'll use a red pen or something along those lines to write positive numbers. When I use counters or like these red circles, they represent positive numbers. Likewise, negative is written in blue, and that typically represents negative numbers. Blue circles will represent negative numbers. So red's positive, blue's negative. That's important to remember. Okay? Now, because our goals for this lesson are to order integers and then to compare them, not necessarily simultaneously, what we get to do is write them in order, say, from least to greatest. And the first activity there is to actually write -3, +2, and -1 in order from least to greatest. And you'll see that I've actually included a number line, which is just a straight line. We make number lines with rulers. It's a straight line, and I write the numbers out in order, consecutively. So we have -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, and +3. And what I did is I just put little dots above where the numbers are. So -3 on our list gets put right here. +2 gets put right here, and then -1 gets put right here. And the reason this helps me is that if I want to write it in order from least to greatest, I can look from left to right, because the further left I am on my number line, the smaller the number is, or the lesser the value, or something along those lines. So I can say then that in order from least to greatest, it goes -3, and then -1, and then +2. That's a pretty basic sort of problem or introduction to calculating or ordering integers. The other thing that we look at is using a less than and greater than symbol to tell which integer is bigger than the other one, or which one's smaller than the other one. So in this case, I've again used a number line. It's a little bit longer. It runs from -10 to +1 in order. And then I have three different numbers. I have -3, -5, and then on a different question, -7. And so what I did was I, again, used my number line and placed those numbers with little dots where they go. And so with -3 and -5, I see that -3 is further to the right of -5. So if something's further to the right on a number line, I can say that -3 is greater than -5. Likewise, I see that -7 is further to the left of -5, and so I can say that -7 is less than -5. Okay? So those are some ways to use number lines to order integers, to compare them, see which one's bigger than the other. The problems that you're going to be practicing are going to focus on those kinds of skills. So it doesn't have to be a long video tonight. Hopefully that stuff helps you out in your preparations for tomorrow's class. So have a great night, folks.